Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. Welcome into our little merry band today. We are without our youngin, Kwyn Townsend Riley. She is in the midst of, I was going to say transitioning. She's traveling to her new home.
Mm-hmm.
So, Myra and Stephen Hill and I are here with you today. So, thanks for joining us. Myra, how are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you for asking. I am amazing. That's what someone said to me.
You are amazing. Who
I
told you that? Who confirmed that?
Somebody was trying to hit on me, but I took
All
it
right. Okay.
anyway.
And who's mad at that?
No one at all. No one at all.
Okay. All right.
I'm
All
sitting
right.
here beating the heat, beating the heat. This this is when I hallucinate about hearing Mr. Softy. Like, I need the ice cream man to
Ice
come
cream
down the stairs.
man!
Ice cream
Ice cream
man.
man! Did you guys have good humor or did you have someone else?
Look, we had Mr. Softy and the Good Humor Man.
We didn't have Mr. Softy. It was just Garcia, the good humor guy.
You didn't have Mr. Softy?
We didn't have Mr. Softy.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember Mr. Softy. I do remember the good humor guy, but and his name was Garcia. But for whatever reason, in our minds, he was Godsia because because he was the god of ice cream.
Okay.
And so that was our guy. I miss those days. I remember when I was a little kid though, in order to not buy me ice cream, my mother used to say, "Oh, listen to the music machine, the music truck coming down the street."
She would call it the music truck?
Uh-huh. So that it's because if I didn't know that it was ice cream in there, I wouldn't be running and bugging her for ice cream.
But
So
didn't
for
the other kids tell
but
you?
well, this is like when I was real little.
Oh,
Like
okay.
this was before I stole a tricycle to drive to the store to ride it to the store. So it was before I was 2. But she told me, oh, listen to the beautiful music, and I was like, they just ride around making music, and she said, yeah, isn't that great?
She couldn't have got it. She would have been arrested today for saying that. It's false advertisement to a child abuse.
Well, there was nobody else. There was no older brother or sister to say, that's not a music truck. That's the ice cream man.
Yes,
When
it's supposed to be 500 kids outside screaming, "Ice cream
ice cream man.
man!"
Right, right. She closed the doors, all the windows are coming down, and I was none the wiser until one day I was out and the kids were running after the ice cream truck. And I was like, why are they running after the truck making music? What's the. Oh,
Right.
yeah. So I got it. I got it. Myra, how's the weather treating you? Everywhere across the country, somebody has something.
It
If it's
is
not
hotter than Satan's toe jams up in here. It is hot.
that's hot and smelly, I'm thinking.
Yeah. So Satan actually came here for about 5 minutes this afternoon and said, "I'm going back to hell." Way too hot in Georgia for me.
How hot is it?
I believe the official temperature was 99 and the heat index was something like 104.
I don't think we got much deep into the 90s today because we had overcast, but
Mm.
100 has been the is pretty much the norm, if not close to it. Earlier, about a month early than Texas is used to, or at least North Texas is used to. But it's hit the Huns.
They told us to get used to it because it is going to get hotter. We
Hmm.
will officially hit 100 in a
Yeah.
couple of days, if not hotter. Yeah. So.
Chicago too. Chicago's
Mhm.
gotten it, and along with tornadoes, and it's
You
just
know,
like,
you know, Chicago can't handle this kind of heat.
oh my gosh, and power outages, Myra.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Oh my
yes, yes, yes.
gosh. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But please be careful out there. People can't even get into some of the national parks because of the flooding. Other
Hmm.
people, they have fires on one end of the country, the flooding, the heat, and the storms, and you name it. And
Yes. and not to get in anybody's business, but it's okay to have water on the rocks. Okay. I'm just saying, people, we ain't got to drink every day. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Yeah. Yes. Listen to Madam Myra with the wisdom there. Okay, Myra, let's move to the What You Need to Know newsletter. And as I mentioned, young Kwyn is making her move across the country for her new job. But in her place, we will talk about her story. And Pride History is Black History. That is the headline for her story. She said Pride has existed for more than 50 years. And as more and more companies, institutions, and politicians lean into the affirmation of the LGBTQ plus community, there's still an opposing force that wants to deny them their existence and right to live. And so she goes into the history of how did the Pride celebration began. And she talks about Marsha P Johnson, one of the significant heroes that we have to thank for Pride Week or month. She was a Black trans rights activist who played a significant role in important moments of the movement, such as the Stonewall protest. And then June of 1969, when she was 23 years old, police raided a gay bar in New York called the Stonewall Inn. And that's what a lot of people started the whole gay pride rights fight for it anyway. And the police forced over 200 people out of the bar onto the streets and then used excessive violence against them. And she was one who was living and working in New York and one of the key figures that stood up to police during those raids. And so I'm sorry we don't have a picture of her in here, but we do have, the pride flag and all. And good job on Kwyn on giving us a little bit of history there. At its origin, she said pride is a political event, a mandate. Pride has always been the protest against the unjust systems and the people that perpetuate them. And it's more than, as she says, more than rainbows and parties. It's about radicalism and social change. And isn't that just like Kwyn?
Yes.
Also want to bring to people's attention, we every week we do have a feature in the What You Need to Know newsletter. It's the Black and Missing section, thanks to the folks at the Black and Missing Foundation. And today they are looking for young TJ Baker. She's been missing since May 1st. She's 23 years old and went missing in New York, New York. She's 5'7" and 130 pounds. And she was a college student from New York. She went to Washington, D.C. on May 1st. So the last place they saw her was in New York before she traveled or was supposed to travel to D.C. And aside from a mysterious phone call for help, she hasn't been heard from since. And you can only imagine what her family and friends are going through. And they give her a description of her. So TJ is an artist and an art student, went down to D.C. to make posters for a woman she had met online. And if you do have any information, take a look at TJ Baker's picture in the What You Need to Know newsletter. And also, if you have any information, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. While we are here on the newsletter, just a reminder that it is absolutely free to subscribe to our What You Need to Know newsletter, Myra. And we do talk about politics as well as social justice and LGBTQ rights. We have our health and wellness corner, a number of other things involving COVID. We try to give you a COVID update. And yes, there's still stuff going on regarding COVID, and we will talk about that a little bit later. But in the newsletter, we talk about one of the latest members of the president's cabinet to test positive for COVID again, and that's the Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra. Tested positive again less than a month after he came down with symptoms while on a trip to Germany.
Wow. So he's tested positive twice, like within 30 days?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. He was in Germany and he quarantined himself and got better and got back to work in the States. And now he has mild symptoms while he was out in California. And his aide says that he's been in California on a personal commitment, and that the statement says that he was not believed to be in close contact with the president. That's always the first indication of how serious things may be when they say, how close was this cabinet member? How close was the vice president to the president? And as far as we know, Joe Biden has not come down with COVID.
I want what he's taking in because
right. I'm sure it's not bleach. I'm sure he's doing all the right things. Stephen Hill, do you know?
At this point in time, nobody's trying to get close to Joe Biden, so nobody's trying to get close to him.
I think we all should. I think we should gather around Joe Biden and lift him up and stick with him because the alternative scares me.
Okay. I mean, yes, I agree with you.
I'm just saying the alternative scares me. If it's DeSantis, if it's God forbid,
any of them,
yeah,
any of them.
But there's a rising Democratic star. I'm sure. I just don't know who it is.
Okay.
Well, let's first of all, before we get into that,
yes.
let's get involved in the midterm elections and let's vote and give him the support he needs in the House and the Senate. How about that?
That's a great idea. Yo, I hate coming on being like, and I'm the negative Nelly because I'm an optimistic person. But
you are. You're Mr. Half.
I'm half all the way full, even if you only got half of it. Spread out the particles. Challenge is, crime's not Biden's friend. Crime's not the Democrats' friends right now.
What is a Democrat's friend?
Yeah, nothing really. Like nothing. I mean, that's what. I mean, I ask you that. Like, what are the Democrats winning at right now?
Yeah.
What are they winning?
Well, they're winning at making some sort of push for, and I can't say it's gun reform, but certainly pushing the Republicans towards making some concessions and looking at gun reform, and I use air quotes around gun reform.
Yeah, because that's kind of weak.
It is weak, but the Republicans will use that to say, like, see, I know how to work and come across the aisle, and the Republicans will use it for their own good.
And the Democrats won't know how.
That's right.
That's right. I got really sad yesterday in writing this story about the 31 white nationalists who were arrested in Idaho over the weekend. And my sadness is reflected in the headline, hate's not dying, it's multiplying. And these 31 young white men came from all over the country, 12 states, including Illinois and Texas and California, to meet up to raise hell at a gay pride event in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And the more I went into the story and investigated how this organization, it's called the Patriot Front. And thank God for one person who called 911 and said, this is the strangest thing. But what looks like a small army of guys, they're filling up a U-Haul truck. And they got like riot gear on, and they're all dressed alike. They're wearing khakis and navy blue shirts, and they're all lining up in a U-Haul truck. And the police, it's hard not to find, I guess, a U-Haul truck in that area. And so they found him, and they opened it up, and they pulled all these guys, all 31 of them, and they were crushed into this small U-Haul truck. And it turns out these are members of the Patriot Front. Now, what made me sad, and even sadder, this is a small organization that got its start after Charlottesville. So we're talking just about 5 years ago, not even 5, right? And we know what happened with Charlottesville with the white nationalists and the anti-Semites and what have you. So they got their start then, and they now, the Anti-Defamation League is calling them one of the strongest groups of white nationalists, white separatists, and racists in the country.
Wow.
And this is what got me. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. The leader of the organization lives in Grapevine, Texas. That stone that I just threw, that's where Grapevine is for me.
Wow.
So my point
not going to ask neighbors for sugar.
Things not to do today.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But these are people that I may have seen, in the mall, in one of the stores, at the wine festival in Grapevine, whatever it is. They're amongst us, and we just got to be careful.
But here's the great thing. Here's why this
Okay.
would make me sad at all. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Because what happened had you should be using to say, like, we told you last week, you stupid fool, Steven. Because exactly what I said doesn't happen and won't happen and doesn't happen enough is exactly what happened to prevent this. They saw something, they said something. We were on this very show last week, and I'm all about, ain't nobody gonna talk about it. Nobody says anything, nobody does anything, nobody does anything.
Right.
And this proved me absolutely wrong. And I love being wrong when it's around something like this, right? So the fact that if this one person had not made the call, there would have been untold damage, right? Yeah. Unimaginable damage that would have happened to it's just unfathomable. So I humbly retract my statement from last week and send kudos to you for saying, like, see something, say something, because somebody did.
And Steve, get this, as a part of the article, somebody did say something. They arrested these guys. They charged them. They went home. They have to come back to face the judge or whatever. But the number of calls, almost 200 calls have come into the police department. One half is saying, way to go, great job, guys. The other making threats on the lives of the police department and other city officials.
That's just part of the course. That's what's going to happen. Like that's where we are.
Yeah,
that's just where we are.
I would be interested in hearing the background of those young men, because many times they find that they are white, they are under 30, they are undereducated, they are let's say misfits, loners, misfits, looking for their buddies, kind of thing.
Yep, looking for some sort of community. And they are a lot like, I dare say, what you just described, Myra, are at least one of the 18-year-olds that has been involved in the mass shooting in Buffalo.
Yeah, but here's the thing, to me. How twisted do you have to be to know that this has been a common denominator, is undereducated, and you go, oh, some stupid mofos? Them's my people right there. That's who I want to be with. Really?
Yeah, those are
this is the group you want to join.
Those are my bros.
Right.
Yes, because you want to be with people who are everybody wants to belong. It doesn't matter what the group is. Like, that's what everybody wants to belong. And if you see these people who, okay, if I adjust what I think just a little bit, I can fit in with this group. It's going to happen. It's how we're built as humans, as social beings. Sadly, I mean, a lot of times it's for happy reasons, but for sometimes like this, it's horrible. We're built as social beings. But
we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. Because watch out for that loner. Watch out for that person that doesn't want to be around people and just keeps to himself. Well, watch out for the guys that are, joining together and because they hate Black people and gay people and, on and on and on. We just got to watch out, period.
You do. But the loner's usually a loner because either they didn't want to fit in or no one let them fit in, or they didn't think they could. So,
and that's what they said about the shooter in Uvalde, Texas. They said that he was bullied, and they said he wasn't bullied. He was just strange. But they didn't bully him. The kids said it was
Come
just.
on, no. All of us know if you were considered strange in the 5th grade, you're getting bullied. Full stop. Right?
Yeah,
none of y'all know the strangest person in your 5th grade class that didn't get bullied.
And I don't want to say his name, but I can see him just as straight as day, just as clear, wearing a trench coat, belted too tight, with a Samsonite briefcase, and wearing a tie to school every day.
Was there anything under the trench coat?
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. He never took the trench coat off, which was.
Did you see pants? Is what I'm asking. How strange is this kid?
It was pretty strange. And his sister was just lovely. She was so normal. And she was like, yeah, that's my brother.
Yeah.
Some of the other things that you may check out in the newsletter, as Steve was alluding to, Black support of Joe Biden wanes, and talking about and how his polling numbers have gone down amongst Black people, and these and other stories you'll find in the free What You Need to Know newsletter. Please go to SybilWilkes.com.
In case you need a sound effect.
Not that bad.
It's
not that bad. Okay, 80% down to 70%, 78% down to 70%. So anyway, let's move to the question of the day.
Okay, it's over 10% loss.
What's really going on?
What's really going on, Sybil?
So it was brought to our attention, Myra, that we messed up the little known Black history fact in today's newsletter, which is dedicated to Black Music Appreciation Month, by the way. We edited the newsletter, but this one got past us. And I did notice it this morning as I was going over, and I was like, oh, gosh, darn it. And it had to do, the little known Black history fact is about George Clinton from several years ago in July, when it really was his birthday. So we were a little early. But it was brought to our attention. And so
I'm sorry.
Did you?
I was up reading early. I was reading early. I was reading early. And so the funny thing is, I'll come back to after you finish
Okay. So obviously birthdays are a big deal for a lot of people. You know, we have people who start, this is my birthday month. This is Aries season. This is, whatever. And people do, and rightly so, they put out their Cash App names and all that other kind of stuff.
Grown people putting up their Cash App.
They really do. They really do.
I know they do.
Yeah. And so whose birthday have you forgotten, and how did you make it up to them? So I don't know. Maybe Stephen Hill, you can give us an idea of how we make this up to George Clinton.
I'm making it up. The reason I was laughing because I looked at it is I thought, oh, this is really cool, because I'm literally in roughly a half an hour pulling these out, going to Central Park, and going to see George Clinton.
Wow.
That's where I'm going from here.
That's so awesome. Well, don't sing happy birthday to him.
I shan't at all. I was going to. I was getting there. I have forgotten. It's so funny. I forgot I misplaced a birthday just recently. Someone told me it was their birthday on June 14th. And then I was like, oh, wait, who told me it was their June 14th birthday? And it was between these two people that I had talked to. And of course, I picked the wrong one. I was like, happy birthday, David. David, you're my man. I was like, no, man.
Not my birthday.
Not my birthday.
So that is our question of the day. Whose birthday have you forgotten, and how did you make it up to him? So did you call the other person?
Oh, absolutely. And explain the whole thing. There's only two people that I really cared about that were having birthdays, and I just picked the wrong one. 50-50 chance I got wrong.
Right. I'm not, my birthday it's nice, and it's nice, but I love to acknowledge other people's birthdays. That's why we have the birthday shout outs in the newsletter. So, but it's also incumbent upon me to remind people when it's someone's birthday. So I go through, I do the birthdays every week, and send it in and then I think to myself, oh, I got to remind Yolanda that today is her aunt's birthday. And I said that last night when I was in the store buying some Father's Day cards. But I was also concentrating on not tripping this little boy who was an absolute horror in the aisles of the store. So I forgot about that. So I called Yolanda and I'm telling her about this kid, and I forgot to say, tomorrow's Aunt Deborah's birthday. So I don't have to make it up because I put it in the darn newsletter. So, it's not my problem. But I am curious, Myra, have you forgotten? Are you one of those that, because you,
worst.
No, I don't think you are you?
Yeah. Well, my longest friend since elementary school, Brenda Cooper, she's now Brenda King. As a matter of fact, it's so funny you mention that because I do know her birthday is in June. I have been screwing up her birthday since 7th grade. 7th grade.
Oh
And I
my
always know it's
gosh.
somewhere around June, something,
Uh-huh.
somewhere between the 17th and the 25th. And I will
So
call
you-
her
every
"Hey, happy
day.
birthday." No, Myra, it's not it. So over the years, it has become an ongoing joke that
Mhm.
I will never get her birthday. I'll always acknowledge it somewhere in the arena, but I never get it right. And I finally, about 2 years ago, like, why don't you put it in the calendar? Like that. And so now I call her on her birthday, but it's not as
It's
much
not the
fun.
same.
Yeah, it's just not the
Yeah.
same because it's actually her birthday now.
Uh, go back to the old
I
Myra.
know. I like
I think you
the old
should.
way better.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
that too. The spontaneity of it all.
Yeah.
So so Stephen Hill, anybody else besides those two people? And whose birthday was it?
My good friend David Saltzman is who I thought it was, but it was actually my good friend Michael Cohn's birthday.
Oh.
No, you know. I've been doing this thing for years, and finally I'm changing around where I don't write down birthdays, right? So I'm very, very happy that yours and Yolanda's are both on the 20th. Sometimes I mess up whose is which. But so I try to keep them because it keeps me. And as when I got 60, all of a sudden I was like, my mom's birthday is when?
Not your mama's birthday.
I think I have one or two brothers. One brother, right?
And two nephews.
So there's a lot of writing down, but because there's one there's one friend of mine whose birthday I get wrong every single year, and I try to get it right. Right? I know it's either March 9th, May 9th, May 5th, March 5th, April 10th, or April 15th. I don't know why. There's something about those dates that are interchangeable for this one person for me. And it's literally become a joke over 20 years. And over the last 2 years, I've gotten it exactly right. And it's the first time I've ever gotten it 2 years in a row exactly right.
Wow. Well, yeah. Myra, as a March 8th person, write it down on your calendars, folks. Myra J's birthday and our friend Shawnee Mack. His birthday is also.
And it's a national holiday. You can go to work if you want to. But I'm just saying, nobody has to go to work on March 8th ever.
That's really funny. Darlitha Rhodes on YouTube says, I was 2 days early for a friend's birthday. So when she told me the right day, I forgot to call her on her actual birthday, which was yesterday. Happy birthday, Joanne C. from Humble, Texas. Happy birthday, Joanne. That's sweet. I don't, heck, Shirley Ann Tony Davis, I forget my grandkid's birthday. She says that on Facebook. Shirley.
As a former grandchild, that would be devastating to be honest with you. As a former grandchild, if your Nana forgets your birthday,
oh,
it's just like, wow.
And Stephen, and there's no envelope or no card to open up and go.
No, nothing to accordion out, no money falling out, no coin holder.
Okay. Not the coin holder.
Oh, I remember you get the, and here's $1 worth of dimes, which cost $5 to send through the mail.
I had a friend, my mom's friend, Mrs. Smith, Vivian Smith, used to send me $2 bills, which you're thinking she would send like a nice little stack of $2 bills. It's like, why $2? Because it was always great back in the day when we traveled, Myra, to for money and tipping people and you get some $2 bills and you're good to go. It was always good. I miss Mrs. Smith.
And those $2 bills.
And the $2 bills. Jackie Welsh on YouTube says, a friend of 20 years wished me a happy birthday a day late, and I was offended. I am big on birthdays.
Oh, Jackie.
Well, Jackie, tell us when your birthday is, and we'll make sure that your friend knows.
You know, what we did as a family reunion keepsake one year, and it was such a great idea. We had family history on the different monthly pages, but we listed everybody's birthday, even family members that had passed.
Oh,
and for years, everybody would go, "Oh my God, I still have my calendar, and I know it's Aunt so-and-so's birthday." You know, so just throwing it out there, people.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Myra. Aubrey Williams on YouTube said, oh, "You know what, Aubrey? I forgot my mama birthday last year. She called me everything but a child of God. Because
And
you
she
are
should
everything.
have.
Yeah.
That's
She
right.
Okay, she forgave me after I got her a nice gift from Dillard's, and we need to know what that nice gift was, because anybody that forgets their mama's birthday, I'm not sure what that nice gift looks like. I need to know, young man. Kwyn Turner on YouTube. How do you people forget
How
this?
y'all forget your
Your
mama's
mama's
birthday?
Kwyn Turner said, I forgot my mother's birthday the year I was making my wedding plans. I bet you your mama was still there when that joker wasn't, that you married.
Wow, wow. That was so glass half empty. That was really, there was so much glass half emptiness in that one. Wow.
You can't forget your mama's birthday, not your
Come
mama.
on.
No, you don't forget your mother's birthday. Well, I don't forget my mom's birthday, mostly because my mother's birthday is the same day as Larry Brown's birthday, famous running back for the Washington Then Redskins back in the early 70s. So
now
as
the
long as her
Commanders.
birthday stays the same day as Larry
Larry
Brown's,
Brown.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Steve.
You know, I'm sorry, what?
Sybil, you know I am special. Heck, I forget about mine sometimes. Shirley and Tony Davis says, yeah, but come on.
I don't believe people who say, I forgot today was my birthday. Really? You forgot? You may not do anything for it, but I think most people know.
I agree, Myra.
Yeah,
I agree.
That is your birthday.
Steve, has anybody ever forgotten your birthday, and has it hurt your feeling?
So you can always tell in the past, you could always tell whether an ex was going to be a friend by whether they wished you a happy birthday.
Oh, that's interesting.
You could always tell. And, you know, I am friends with many with many of my exes, because my whole philosophy is like, I'm not the guy who goes for the one night stand. So if I like you, then we add the romance to it. If the romance doesn't work, I don't want to lose the friendship.
Exactly.
Right? Basically. And so some can handle, some can handle, some can't. But as soon as they don't send you happy birthday, and there's nothing romantic about it. It's just like, that's when you tell the difference.
That's the difference.
It's not whether they forget. It's just a matter of whether they choose to do it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Most of my exes still wish me a happy birthday, and vice versa. I mean, just a text message, even if they don't call, it's fine. It's your birthday. Celebrate.
And buy a drink on me.
As opposed to throwing it like you did the last time I saw you.
So the interesting thing is that Yolanda and I both have birthdays on the 20th, and Steve and his best friend Kevin have their birthdays on the 26th.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Kevin, next month we will be celebrating you.
He's actually in the other room. That's what's so funny.
Are you serious?
He's living in the room. Yeah.
Oh, good. When I text him on Friday, because I text Kevin on Fridays just to check in.
I love that.
Ask him if he's gone outside to play.
It's funny because you got to ask him that, because literally for the last four days back there working. Mm-hmm. We went to lunch today, but that was pretty much it.
So Myra, here's the thing about Kevin too, and I know we're getting off the subject, but so Yolanda, if you have more calls,
you mean Kevin is not what you need to know?
But Kevin on the ship is the party master, right? And everything just falls, whatever business things he has going on, with the exception of one time in Puerto Rico. But every time, but he's Mr. Life of the Party. But man,
he gave me the best words of wisdom on the cruise one year.
What's that?
Because I was telling him I had never hooked up, because he was talking about all the women that they. He said, "You ain't never hooked up all these years on the cruise." And I went, "Nope." And he said, "Well, Myra, that's because you have standards." And I went, "Well, and there you have it." Thank you, Kevin.
And that's why we love the Kevin, and we'll be celebrating his birthday next month, July 26th. That's awesome. That's awesome. And before we wrap this up, I do want to wish Mr. George Clinton a happy birthday on July 22nd.
Okay. Yes.
So
in
when you
Chocolate
go,
City.
when you go to see him, Steve,
Yes.
happy birthday in advance.
Happy birthday in advance. 100%.
And
Wait. Okay, nothing. Good.
what is it? It's not July 22nd?
So I thought it was the 21st. I may be wrong, but you're right. It's 22nd. It's 22nd. It's 22nd. I was wrong.
Let's just give him a birthday season.
That's how I rock it. I understand that.
Birthday
it's the
season.
Okay.
All right, you guys. So let us now move to move away from birthdays and hurting people's feelings for not remembering. Let's move to trending topics. The first story I want to talk about is this story that was in the headlines for the horrific police murder of another Black man. This was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. A white police officer stopped a Black man from an immigrant from Africa, from the Congo, and there may have been some communication differences and what have you, but the Black man ran from the white cop. The cop tracked him down. They fought. They tussled on a lawn of someone's home. The policeman said that the Black man got a hold of his taser. He pulled out his gun and shot Patrick Lyoya in the back of the head. So now he has been charged with second-degree murder, and he has now also been fired from the Grand Rapids Police Department. His name is Christopher Scher, and they announced that after 7 years as a police officer on the Grand Rapids Police Department, he waived his right to a hearing and was dismissed. Now, this was effective last week. They announced it today, and the dismissal was recommended by the police chief after the second-degree murder charge was filed a week ago.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Nobody tried to hire it now. And I go back to all this activity over the last 2 or 3 years made it so this happened much more swiftly than it might have happened before COVID. I'm gonna go with COVID, right?
Okay.
Right. And so the fact that a police shoots an unarmed man in the back of the head might have been defended a couple of years ago. Someone may have tried to say like he was running away and he could have turned around with a weapon or whatever it is, but no, because of the sacrifices, the literal sacrifices of so many people, this thing is moving in the right direction. It takes a long time, but it's moving in the right direction.
I agree, Steve, and thank you for once again for that half full observation. No, but it is. I mean, you're absolutely right. We are sorry about the lives that have gone before him, and how this has worked out for this Patrick Lyoya and his family. But you're right, absolutely. Had it not been for others, we might not be at this point. This murder took place on April 4th. And here we are 2 months later, and we're seeing action, and good on them.
Absolutely.
Not only the charge. Go ahead.
No, and you know, Emmanuel Murphy says maybe it's me. Was the first reaction by some police to pull out their gun and fire? Emmanuel Murphy says from Facebook. And the point is, so when verdicts like this come down, when people understand this happened, it will make police think twice about doing that. Yeah. Right. We will not know the life that got saved by this action.
Exactly.
We won't know that life, but there will be at least one.
Yeah. I mean, in Brooklyn Center, when the young man was killed by the female cop just across the suburb from the George Floyd case going on in that courtroom. And she said she mistook her taser for her gun. Whatever it is, I think that my prayer is that they now take a beat and take a second, Steve, as you said, to differentiate between them, because there is a difference in the way they feel and look, but in the heat of action and all that. The interest rate hike took place today, and there was a lot of activity, a lot of interest. And so what does it mean? The Federal Reserve announced today its largest interest rate hike since 1994. And that's 0.75 of a point, 0.75%. Many Americans wondering what this means and how will it affect them. They're doing this in order to counter the inflation that we're going through. And so what it means initially is that, like for your mortgage, especially if you have adjustable rates, your mortgage will be affected, the payment that you're making. because of the adjustment to the interest rate. What it also means is our credit cards, if you have credit card debt, that's going to be affected by it, because they very well will probably turn up the rates on that. If you're going out to buy a car or buying a house, that's going to be affected. But what they're hoping is that in the end, this will affect us by kind of slowing things down. And the more expensive you make the objects, and more difficult, or the more expensive it is to borrow money, they're hoping that the demand and other services will decrease as a result, and thus bring down the prices. And they're trying to head off a recession. And I don't know how many people remember a recession, but it is not a good time, and it takes this country, it takes other countries, everybody, a while to get out of this too. Steve, do you remember back in the day when we were in the middle of a recession?
The 70s recession, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing that got rid of. That's the thing that made us get rid of Carter, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Interest rates are like 20 some odd percent. And yeah, I just remember being difficult for a lot of neighbors. It wasn't more about jobs, it was more about prices and trying to keep them down. They just kept increasing.
Yep.
And it's really meaningful. Like look, gas, we are learning now how gas runs everything.
Mm-hmm.
Gas run. I mean, your price at the pump now is literally 2.3 times what it was like a year or year and a half, 2 years ago.
Just a year ago.
And it's meaningful if you live outside of a place that has mass transportation. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And for people who use their cars for like the Uber drivers and Uber Eats and things like that, they are really affected by this. So Myra, you got a scandal in the state of Georgia.
Again? What did we do now?
Herschel Walker's campaign. Herschel Walker is a Republican candidate for the Senate in the state of Georgia. His campaign has admitted that he has a secret son.
Secret son? Secret from whom?
A secret son.
Wait. Are we talking S-O-N or S-U-N? We are talking about Herschel Walker.
It's a son.
And I got a moon, and I got a son.
This Herschel Walker, who has previously lashed out at absentee fathers, admitted today that he has been an absentee father. He has a 10-year-old son that he has never mentioned publicly and from whom he appears to be estranged. The campaign confirmed the existence of the child after it was reported by the Daily Beast. The child's mother had taken the ex-NFL star to court to get child support payments, and it says that Herschel had a child years ago when he wasn't married. He supported the child, continues to do so, but the child, a person close to the family, says he has not played an active role in raising his second son, but does send him Christmas and birthday presents. I wonder if he remembers his birthday.
But wait, but they won't talk about that though. But they won't talk about that.
No. Answer the question. What's that?
No, in his COVID cure speech, they have him on tape saying he had a cure for COVID. He said, you can walk in the room and this will make the COVID disappear. But they won't talk about that. they won't talk about that though.
Answer the question we all want to know.
Yes.
Answer the question we all want to know.
Yes, the mother is
white or black?
The mother is white.
Oh, come on now.
We knew that though, didn't we?
Okay.
He has
in the state of Georgia, what hurts his chances more?
Well, I don't know because, and I'm wondering about the son that he does acknowledge, who is gay. And so there, and with his white mother, and there are a lot of questions about his gay son and the differences that they have between the two of them. And now you have this other child that he's never even publicly acknowledged. And so, Steve, I don't know that it will matter to those people who want to support Donald Trump.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't give a dang that he got a gay son. I don't care that he has an out of wedlock son. That's between him and his children. What I do care about is that this man has the raggediest campaign that he's been caught in so many lies, and it's like the Republican Party doesn't care. It's like he is Trump back, and they are going to push him with ish and all. They're just pushing everything down our throats. And I really hope that Reverend Warnock whips the pants off of him.
Well, they brought in Reverend Warnock too. They said the campaign is acknowledging what's going on with Herschel Walker, but they said Warnock accusing him of his nasty custody dispute with his ex-wife. Well, he did it too, and it's one of those. And so they're calling it a double standard. And of course, Reverend Warnock's ex-wife, whom he divorced in 2020, went to court this year to argue he wasn't paying his share of child support.
Again, not my business. What are you going to do for the people? Let's talk politics. I don't care.
Let's talk, for the people.
About your dirty laundry. I really, really don't. Let's talk politics. And
well, he doesn't talk sense, so
exactly.
Oh, Steve, what do you think?
I wish I lived in Georgia. I really do.
You're missing out on some great ads.
I realized that and it's flipping around because like, yes, you got to cheer for the black man. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Not always.
No. This is gonna be so interesting.
Wait. It's Warnock versus.
It's Warnock versus
Walker.
Wow.
Warnock versus Walker. Here it is.
Yep.
Straight in the. Oh, never mind. It sounds like a boxing match.
Yeah, you did have a bit of a Howard Cosell.
Going there for a second.
Okay, so politics as usual in the state of Georgia. Good news for parents who concern. Yes, Myra.
I don't want to step on a news story, but can we mention Atlanta's former mayor talking about politics as usual?
That is going to be in tomorrow's newsletter.
Okay, then not just tease that thing.
But we'll, the former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, is going to take over the position that was just vacated by Cedric Richmond, the former congressman from Louisiana. Keisha Lance Bottoms is going to be the director of public engagement in the White House, which is very close to the president and right there in the West Wing. So congratulations to her.
Wow, good stuff. Okay.
Yep. And that will be in the newsletter, as I mentioned.
Yay.
Good for the COVID vaccines for kids under 5 moving closer. The FDA's Committee of Independent Vaccine Experts voted unanimously to recommend Moderna and Pfizer shots to use in the age of infants 6 months through toddlers. At 5, the FDA will likely accept the recommendation and authorize the shots this week. And the White House says if it goes as planned, the vaccinations could begin as soon as Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and there may be some people in the Biden administration who need to get some more boosters because not only we mentioned Xavier Becerra, the HHS, but also our Congresswoman has some time to reclaim her time. Maxine Waters has tested positive for COVID.
Ooh.
Yep. And Reverend Al, and get well wishes to him too.
And Dr. Fauci.
And Dr. Fauci. That's where
Dr.
I was going.
Fauci. Yep.
That's exactly.
We're all going to hell if Dr. Fauci got COVID.
That's what I said. Dr. Fonz.
We are all headed like straight south. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh no, ground zero.
Yeah, right.
They
Here's the great thing. You, if we said these names 2 years ago, we'd all be freaking out right now.
Yes. Yes.
So luckily, we've come far enough with the vaccine and everything else that we can say this and actually kind of make jokes on the back of it, right? Because we believe in medicine and the boosters and vaccines have worked, and so.
Yep.
So that's good.
Once again, he took the rapid antigen test today and was found to be positive. He went home to recover. He's experiencing some mild symptoms and attributes that to the fact that he's fully vaccinated and double boosted. So get well soon and get back to work. And once again, they're concerned how close he's been to the president. He has not been in close contact with President Biden of late. So we shall see.
Nobody has. Nobody.
They don't want to touch that, Steve?
President Biden. By the way, I want to be clear. The funny thing is, all these people, you notice all these people who could be close to Biden, but all of a sudden have COVID. President Biden would like to see you. No, I can't. I got COVID. I can't go. Can't go see you. No, I would go, but I got COVID.
Oh,
That was too bad.
That's funny. Let's move to entertainment, and it is time to take a lighter look at the world as well as some of our celebrities. And who does not want to be Shaquille O'Neal's friend? Did you hear about this?
No.
Share.
Shaq went to a restaurant in New York, and he was there with a mysterious woman that they did not know. But this was Sunday, and he reportedly paid the dinner bills for over 40 tables in that restaurant and even bought dinner for the entire serving team at the Julian Club. The total bill was well over $25,000 and included an extremely generous gratuity for his servers, the biggest tip they've ever received. What a nice thing.
Wow.
Huh?
Now I'm just going to follow him around just to go into restaurants.
Right.
What are you doing down there, little lady?
I got a pizza. I got a pizza, Papa.
Steve, what do you think about politics and sports? I ask you this because Jack Del Rio, who is a coordinator on the Washington Commanders football team, has been fined $100,000 for some political things that he got into on Twitter. And he said, and head coach Ron Rivera said that his controversial comments do not reflect the organization's views and extremely hurtful. And talking about the hearings, the January 6 hearings, and Jack Del Rio, yeah,
he was fined. I find that an interesting
fined
move.
$100,000
by the league or by the team.
I think by the league. I want to say it was by the league.
Huh. I mean, okay, look, this only makes sense if the league has a policy. If they have a stated policy saying that employees can't do this, then that makes all the sense in the world. You violated policy, that happens. If it's arbitrary, that's a whole nother thing. But more than anything else, people like, but free speech. Free speech means you can't get arrested. Don't mean you don't got consequences.
Right. There are consequences to that.
Right. Free speech means you can say whatever you want and not end up in a paddy wagon, if they still have such things as paddy wagons. Right? I don't know where the paddy wagon is in my head, but people are allowed to, like when artists talk about it, you're allowed to have your art boycotted. You're allowed to not work somewhere. You can get fired from someplace, I believe, because free speech is not protected. It's protected to keep you out of jail, not from consequences.
Well, I think because by the league, but because he called it a dust up. He called January 6th a dust up. And disregarded the fact that people died, and especially with the police and all of that. And so people are saying that his words were wrong and hurtful, but he should not be penalized. And other people are saying, yeah, he should be penalized. And by the way, that money is going to be donated to the United States Capitol Police Memorial Fund.
Oh.
And
it feels like he should only be penalized if there is an established rule that he broke.
Yeah.
Right. If now the same if someone says the January 6th insurrection was a horrible thing and everybody who's involved with it should go to jail, that person should be fined $100,000 as well. You can't fine somebody $100,000 because their political views don't align.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. The policy has to be like, you're not allowed to talk about politics. If that's the policy, you can fine. But I really, even though I don't agree with him, I really hope it's not, well, I don't agree with what you said, so you're getting fined for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. You're Stephen Hill, you are the most even-handed person.
Except for that old school pimp hand. That was heavy. That was very heavy. That was heavy. That was very heavy.
Did he say old school pimp hand? Oh my gosh.
You just never know, do you, Myra?
Never.
No. That's what makes
Never.
it so interesting. You just
Never.
never know.
Never know. Never know. Okay, so let's end this with Yogi's Jewel, the daily inspiration, and a different one today, ladies and gentlemen. This is allow the light within you to bless those around you. And if ever there were two people who could do that, that would be Myra J. and Stephen Hill. Allow the light within you to bless those around you. You guys are the lights. We thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. Have fun tonight, Stephen Hill. Myra,
Thank you.
You have fun and stay cool, Myra.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.